Good morning. Wow, we have quite the glorious day today, and I have had such a lovely start to the morning. Delicious breakfast, had my cup of tea, I've already put a stew on, and I've already gone and laid for a little bit on the sun deck just to get a little bit of vitamin D. But I thought I would give you a very quick update in Rose Corner. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? So the orange one here is the mini rose, and she is unbelievably happy. And then this one here is the climbing rose. It's the Cinderella climbing rose. So as you can see, we've got her blooms opening. Aren't they gorgeous? So pretty. The smell is lovely. And I don't know if it comes across on camera, but can you see this sort of black sort of wiring there at the back on the rock wall? Hopefully you can see, but we've already started to train her back onto the rock wall. So eventually she will trail up here and then across. Oh, she's gorgeous. But everything is looking so nice in this little corner. Ground cover roses are gorgeous at the moment as well. But the smell is just the most gorgeous, delicate rose fragrance. So I thought we would spend the day together today, given that I've just got a gorgeous, slow, easy day today. I do want to get out in the garden. I've got some planting that needs to be done. You know, last week we went to the garden centre and picked up quite a few plants, so I'm not going to get them all in today, but I just wouldn't mind having a little potter around and getting some additional plants in. And then we are going to be harvesting my berries. Can I just show you? Look at this. Look at it. These are my very first strawberries that I think are like proper strawberries. Like, they're the sort of strawberries you get in the shop. So we are going to be harvesting those bad boys today. I've got some additional ones coming through here that I would like to put little bags on. You can see here again, I just want to bag some of these just so that I don't lose them. The pumpkin is still here, and as you can see, it's just gone wild. I'd like to get the structure in for the tomatoes. Anyway, it should just be a really lovely day, a nice, slow, easy day. I'm going to bring you along with me. Some harvesting, some gardening. Actually, we're going to be heading to the landscape supply store now, so I might bring you along with me for that. They might have some gorgeous little bits there. I'm going there for some rocks, but they always have some really nice pots and things. And I'm devastated, but I don't know if you can see this. Look at this. She's struggling. There's some dead on here. She just has the best structure on this corner. She's been there, I'd say a good 6-7 years. So I don't know what is wrong. The bees just love her. So I might try and baby it just a little bit and see if I can't get it to come back. Oh, I hope I don't lose it. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the car and let's head to the landscape supply store first up, just before it gets any warmer. Water fountain's going. Alright, so we're at landscape supply store. These are the rocks. I'm just going to kind of go through and pick which ones I think are going to suit the garden edging the best. Oy, wish me luck. Alright, so rocks are all in the boot. Hopefully that's going to be a sufficient amount just to finish the little project at the front of the property that I'm doing. So let's head around. I'm looking for some river stones now, so let's go around the other side and we'll just sort of see if they've got anything here that will suit my needs. So just having a little look around. in their pots. This is really nice. How nice is the urn?
So this is probably all section.
And so we're also going to be getting some pebbles. So the ones we're getting are these sandstone. They're the 20 to 40 mil. They look very, very grey here because they're quite dusty, but I'll show you what they look like around the potting sort of side, so you can see the colour tone. I think that's going to look really nice at the front of the property, the sandstone pebble mixed with like the sandstone edging on the other side. I think it'll complement it really well. So they're just going to drop a few bags of this for us. Let's head back over to the pot area. So this is the one that we're getting here. I'm not sure if it comes through on, so you can see there's like all the different colour tone here, but it's still quite a light tone, which I think is really pretty. I see they've still got in these really gorgeous like urn pots. They're so pretty. I wonder about getting some more of those for out the front in that patio area that I'm redoing. Even these are really nice. I do have one of these at the back near the beehive. They're really nice and they've got like a really pretty finish on them. I wonder how they would look in like a saucer with like some flowers. They're nice low pots. That's quite nice. Just having a little look in their decorative pot areas. I still love these for bulbs. Wouldn't mind getting like a bigger one though. I think that might be a little bit too small. These gorgeous blue and white. Look at that. How pretty is that? That comes with the saucer. I don't know if any of them are right. They're all sort of, yeah, not right. I will hold out for the perfect piece. They're just bagging up the rocks for us. You may be able to tell by the lighting here, but it's a couple of hours since I actually spoke to you last. By the time we got back from the garden centre, it was sort of the peak of the day, and now that we're getting quite warm with our weather, I tend to try and avoid being sort of outside in the garden in those peak hours, you know, sort of that between like 11 and probably 3 o'clock, just given how warm it is. But it's about 3 o'clock now, and I've just been doing some admin. I've got my workout in today. I've done all of that in the in-between time. And I've come out now to tackle some gardening. There is so much gardening to do. I'm not really sure what we're going to tackle today, but we're basically just going to get stuck into it and sort of see how I go. See how much time I've got. I've got maybe an hour to come out here. I definitely want to harvest those berries. I mean, just even standing here, the broccoli needs to come out, the cucumbers need to be tied up. I need to set up the new tomato structure. There's so much to do in the orchard. Anywho, there's lots and lots and lots to do. So I'm just going to see how I go. We're just going to go out here and potter around a little bit and have a really gorgeous hour out in the cottage garden. See what we can get done. And can we just take a moment, if I stand here, look at the jasmine on this fence here. Isn't that beautiful? I will say it's possibly a few weeks early. I'd say probably 4 or 5 weeks early. It doesn't normally start doing this probably around Christmas, a little bit after Christmas normally it would start, but we've just, yeah, it's been unseasonably warm. I'm not mad to have such beautiful jasmine blooms, and obviously that fragrance is just delicious. So yes, all right. As I said, I've got about an hour out here before I want to head in. I've got a little bit more to do inside. I need to make some bread to go with the stew this afternoon. Whilst I'm out here, I do want to harvest some of the sage and some of the rosemary. So yeah, it should be a really delightful hour. We will spend it together. I do still have my hat on, as you can see in the shadow, because it is still quite warm. All right, I'm going to find a little place for you to sit, and then I might grab my gardening gloves and we're just going to get stuck in. First things first, I think what I'm going to do is I've got my harvest basket here. I think I'm going to go around and just harvest the few little bits that I need for this afternoon and those berries before I lose them. And they either go overripe or the birds or the bugs get them. So let's do that first up. Okay, so I've just popped over to the herb area and I've just harvested a few more of the lemon balm leaves, which you saw me take this morning for my tea. And I've also just done a few little sage leaves to add into the stew. I like to just pop them on the top and let the steam from the stew and the bubbling and that just sort of extract the sort of flavor and scent from the sage. All right, let's head down into the orchard next and let's have a little look at these berries. And let's just take a moment to appreciate the little pedestal here for my harvest basket. Everything is doing so well in the orchard. Really happy with how everything is looking. You can see we've got a little pile of debris here, garden waste, just from trimming back the jasmine on this side, just to make sure that the rambling wild roses have got a really good chance to kind of get up through the honeycomb trainers there. So that is what that mess is. We will definitely be coming back to the cut flowers this afternoon. I want to get some planting done. I think we've lost this orange tree. You will know over the last few weeks I have been very, very concerned about this navel orange. I think we've lost her. I've taken a little bit of the branching off and it does look like it's got dead wood. So I'd say, unfortunately, the move was maybe just a little bit too much for her. As you know, she was struggling in the old location and then repositioning her, I think, was just, yeah, very, very unfortunate. But if it's the only casualty, I think we've just done so incredibly well. So I definitely will have to get something like a bit of a replacement for here. I am thinking of getting a replacement navel orange, like another dwarf navel orange. So we'll wait and see. The mandarin tree, the seedless mandarin, is doing so unbelievably well. Let me show you. Look at this. Will the cameras focus on it? Oh, can you see? Oh, I'm sorry. But just in there, if the camera would focus, we've got little baby mandarins starting. So we may actually get some mandarins this year. We have had mandarins many a times, but I did worry that with the move we wouldn't get any fruit for sort of the next 12 months, but it's doing so well, so much new growth on this. All of the lavender's doing incredible. The lemon tree hasn't dropped its leaves. It's been months and since it got moved and it just has not dropped these leaves. It's just looking really sad, but definitely not dead. So I'm hopeful that with a bit of, care, it is going to bounce back. New navel orange is doing really well, and this navel orange here is also doing well. You can see we've got all new growth coming through, so that is brilliant. Everything else is very nice in here. These ones here actually do flower beautifully during the day, but now that this area is shaded, the flowers are just starting to close up for the day. Anyway, so everything is looking incredible in here. I'm very happy. My cut flowers are definitely progressing. I lost a few, so I think we need to redo the seedlings there, but we won't do that today. You'll know last week I bought some additional cut flower plants, so I am super keen to get those in this afternoon, definitely. Well, let's go down and have a little look at the blueberries and see if we can't harvest a few of them. I don't think that they're all ready. I don't know if you'll remember. Let's put the basket down there. This was a stick only a couple of weeks ago now, and look how it has just flushed back out. Honestly. The native raspberry, we've harvested pretty much all the raspberries there now. But look at all of this new growth. All brand new. New vinings sort of going out. Definitely super happy here, which is incredible. And then the blueberries is what we're down here for. You can see I got another run of flowers, which was very pleasant surprise. But look in here, can you see? We have several really ripe blueberries. So I do want to harvest them, I think. All right, I'm probably going to need 2 hands to just very gently remove the bag. So I'm going to do that, and I'll pop the camera down while I'm doing that. Oh my gosh, my very first blueberries. Is that not the sweetest thing? I realize it's only 3, but still my very first ones. Oh. If the camera will focus, I'm sorry. They're perfect. All right, into the basket. And then I'm just going to pull off these last 2 and we'll harvest those ones as well. Okay, so bags are off. And basically, this is so we've actually got the full life cycle of a blueberry here. So you get these really gorgeous little bell-shaped. So that is the bud there, the little pink bud. Then it opens up into these very beautiful little bell-shaped flowers. And then from there, let me see if I can find some. Here we go. The flowers die off, you can see there. And then from behind, hopefully, you can see just here, a little blueberry starts to form. And then they get bigger. And then they start to look like this. And then eventually they go that really standard sort of blueberry colour that you're used to seeing. Gosh, the camera is really struggling today. Alright, and then all you have to do is, so if they're ripe, they come off just like that. So I'd say they are the blueberries that I've got. So I shall add them into my little basket with the others. Oh, that's so cute. My sage, my blueberries, my lemon balm. Is this the smallest blueberry harvest you've ever seen? All right. I'm just going to put these bags back on just to make sure that they're all protected, and then we will head up and get some rosemary and the strawberries. So next I think we take some of the rosemary, and I'm actually going to take some of it. Let me just put my harvest basket down. I'm going to take some of this here just because it's encroaching on the longevity spinach. So let's cut some of that, and then we will get the strawberries. And then these are the 2 strawberries. I'm so unbelievably proud of them. I think they're the first strawberries. I think I was saying this to you earlier in the video. They're the first strawberries I've ever grown that look like the strawberries from the store. Like, they're a really great size. Like, look how big they are. And they're so red and just just glorious. Oh, so proud of them. So I'm going to cut those two off because they are definitely ready to go. And they are the 2 strawberries. It's got my rosemary, my blueberries. We'll be able to have the berries tomorrow at breakfast time. All right, I'm going to pop inside really quickly and just sort of put all of these bits and pieces inside, and put these ones obviously in the stew, and then we'll pop back out and do a little bit more gardening.
You don't want to get...
And so this is my little harvest. I've got my rosemary, sage, I've got some lemon balm leaves, blueberries and strawberries. It's so sweet. I know it's like a super small harvest, but I'm very, very proud of it. I can smell the rosemary. It smells delicious. So I'm just going to kind of prep the rosemary and the sage, and then it's just going to go into my stew for a few hours, and it should just add a really delicious kind of flavor. All right, it is happening. The pumpkin is going. Mum has very, very kindly removing it for me, given that I get that rash that I was telling you about. So yeah, it's coming out. We're about to get to the super hot weather, as I've already said. It gets powdery mildew. It's time. It was a great experiment, really enjoyed it, but yeah, definitely time for it to be gone. The hot weather has also meant that the caterpillars are back. And as you can see here, my kale has been completely ravaged. So I'm going to pull all of that out now. Look, look, it's gone. It looks so weird. It has been there for, gosh, I don't even know when we planted. It's been months. It has definitely been there for quite some time. It looks weird to not have it there. But yeah, so I'm going to pull out, oh gosh, sorry, I'm blocking it. I'm going to pull out all the kale, and I'm just going to try and get these tomatoes up on a trellis, and I'm going to pull out that broccoli over there because it is done, and I'm going to try and tie up my cucumbers. So it is already looking so much better. I've just redirected some of these plants just so that the new spring onion seedlings have a shot. I have tied up the cucumber. It was definitely sort of struggling being caught in that corner. I think it's going to be much happier starting to go up. It's getting a lot more sunshine, a lot more air circulation, which is brilliant. The broccoli has come out, which has meant that this little cucumber is also much happier not being so sort of squished in there. And I've already sort of started to trail it across that. So hopefully we will get some cucumbers. Mum has just spritzed some of the longevity spinach with a solution of water and dish soap just because of the caterpillars. Kale is now out. I've got a massive gap there, obviously. I'll have to maybe do some beetroots or something in there. And as I said earlier, the pumpkin is now out. I do kind of wish I'd purchased some cucumbers when we were at the garden centre last week, because I could have started a cucumber in that corner. So that's originally where I wanted the cucumbers to grow, was back there. I think that's a much better position for them than this corner. There is already a lot happening in this corner, but it was the only sort of space that I had free. So, and I've never grown them up these posts before, but it was inspired by the pumpkin. Anywho, they'll be fine there for now. And then, as I said, I might start another cucumber over here. But so already looking so much better. I think the next thing going to tackle is the tomatoes, because they are struggling badly. And I actually have, if I just show you, I have so many tomatoes coming up. Not coming up. So many tomatoes on here that are waiting to go ripe. So I want to give them the best shot possible. This structure I've had for a couple of years now, and it did really well, but I think it's just sort of had its time. So that'll all get taken out, and we will try and assemble those tomato trellises that I bought last week. I did just want to give you an update on this. So this is the trumpet vine. I am so unbelievably happy with how this is looking. It has softened the fence structure like you would not believe. She's obviously very, very happy here, sort of moving her way across. Eventually we've got two large lily pillies in here, so they will grow up and also provide a bit of decorative foliage here, as well as another one over here to kind of again provide that decorative foliage. But I cannot wait for next year when she flowers and this whole thing is just covered in those gorgeous trumpet flowers. So just to show you as well, the lily pillies that I'm talking about, the cascade lily pillies, are, if I stand here, this here is a cascade lily pilly. Can you kind of see like the pink tips and that on it? So when it gets new leaves, they're quite colourful. So they get like pink and red and yellow and that. So they're very quite ornamental, but they provide some really beautiful foliage. So we planted those, two of those just down in there. So it'll be a little while obviously, but eventually they'll fill out and then she will be gorgeous across here. Oh, it's all coming together, and yeah, it looks so much better. Oh, so much better. All right, I'm gonna go try and find those tomato trellises and let's get stuck into that. And so that is the new tomato structure, looking so much better. They look much, much happier already. And just, yeah, it looked terrible, absolutely terrible. Sorry, I'm just trying to... And I've got so many on there. I need to come out tomorrow. You can see they're starting to get eaten. I need to come out tomorrow and just bag them. But hopefully that's going to provide a lot more support. I like that it's got like lots of these little holes so that I can thread them through. But yeah, so that's looking great. Very happy with that. Very productive in the vegetable garden today. So these are the new additions to the cut flower garden, and I think I'm going to try and get these in really quickly this afternoon before I call it a day in the garden. I'm a little over my 1 hour limit that I sort of set myself, but this won't take me long to do. So I've already got the white ones of these, and I'll just show you. I have to say I have already made cut flowers out of them, and they are so long lasting. So that's just them there. So these are the really pretty purple. It's quite a, this one's sort of a little bit darker than this one. This is almost like a bit of more of a lilac-y purple. So they are gorgeous. And then these are new to me. Look at that. So I've got this one here that is the little bit of sort of the purpley inside. And then I've got this one here that has the pink center. I think they are so beautiful. And so its little tag is here, and it just said on them, so yeah, they get quite tall apparently, and it just said that they were an excellent cut flower. So I thought I would trial them and just see. They're hardy. That's what we like to see. So I'm just going to ferry these down to the cut flower area, and then we're going to get these 4 in. So just to show you before I get started, I'm going to put the purple ones just here in front of the white, just so we're all kind of propped up. There's little gaps here, so I'm going to put those 2 there, and then again I'll put the purple one at the front in front of the white one. Alright, I'm going to get going on this. flowers are in. And I will tell you, that was way harder than what it should have been. Ugh, the angle was just terrible to get them in, and the dirt here is so hard to push, like to dig through. So it was quite the challenge. Oh my goodness, and it just took way longer. I sort of thought it would maybe take me 5 minutes to get them in, just quickly, you know, dig a hole and pop them in. But unfortunately that was not the case. But once I started, I was determined to persevere with it. So they are now all in, which is nice. I'm pleased they're in. It's done and dusted now. And I think what I'm going to do is just be very lazy, and I'm just going to put the irrigation on and kind of just water them that way. It'll give everything else in the cottage, the orchard, a bit of a water as well. So I'm going to do that. But as I have said, I've taken much longer in the garden, as is always the way, than what I intended to. So I'm going to bid you farewell now. I hope you really enjoyed spending the day with me. It was just quite a wholesome day, quite sort of a pottering around day, and nothing, you know, super exciting. But that's often really lovely when you just have those gorgeous, slow living days where you just, pottering around, enjoying the gorgeous weather. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.